So it may have said on your end, recording in progress. I don't exactly remember how that works. Take your time to come onto your mat. I suppose I probably could have taken a sip of my tea before I recorded, but here we are. So as you come into your mat, just take a moment to see how your body feels in the seated posture. And maybe if you're feeling a little tighter in the hips or the back, especially the low back, you might want to make your seat a little higher. So maybe you fold another blanket or pile another pillow on top. Whatever you're using, it's worth taking the time to do that. And then as you bring your hands to the knees, just kind of see how the shoulders feel. And if it feels kind of like they roll forward, mine naturally roll forward. So I have to be really on purpose about lifting through the sternum, rolling the shoulder blades back, and even depending on the length of your ligaments, sometimes moving the hands closer to the hips will help with our posture, because what happens is then our elbows come along the back edge of our rib cage, arm bones run back, and shoulders roll back. So all working together. We'll just take a moment to kind of drop into our practice of awareness by maybe taking and feeling a breath. And then just pausing to check in with yourself, remembering there is not a right or wrong way to be. Maybe just noticing how it is this morning in the mind. Meeting however it is with kind and perhaps even loving attention. Noticing how it is in the heart, how you're feeling, perhaps even just noting the feeling tones, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, remembering there isn't a right way to be. Rather, we're becoming aware of how it is so that we can meet what's here with compassion and kindness. You're becoming aware of how it feels in the body. Maybe just noticing your energy levels to start. Maybe aware of temperature. Perhaps there are areas of comfort or discomfort you might take notice of. Meeting them all with the same kind and caring attention. Then we'll drop our awareness into the feeling of our breath without needing to do anything with it just yet. Just feeling how your body naturally moves as you breathe. And as we start to shift our attention to the breath, we might also notice our mind is thinking about other things. Mind likes to travel on its own sometimes. So we just take notice when this happens. And without needing to change it, just noticing, thinking. You might even silently say to yourself, thinking. And then beginning again with the very next breath. Seeing how the breath feels now. And then as you're ready, slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Slowly extending the lengths of your inhales and your exhales. It doesn't have to be your deepest, fullest breath, just taking a bit longer on the inhale and a little bit longer on the exhale. If you could match them together. Matching the length of in-breath with the length of out-breath. And on the next inhale, seeing if you could pick up through the sternum just a little bit more, even roll the shoulders back, keeping them back. As you exhale, lowering the chin. See if you're kind of nuzzling the chin into the collarbone. Feeling the back of the neck lengthen. Even feeling that space where your neck meets the ridge of the skull, inviting this place to soften. And then as you're ready, shifting the head just a little bit in one direction. Noticing sensation. Then come through center and shift the head a little bit in the other direction. And then as you're ready, slowly moving side to side. So you might keep this small movement, or maybe you want to take a little further, or even roll the head to one shoulder. So take your time, just gently moving the head back and forth. And also aware of your breath as you move. So this constant kind of checking in with sensation of breath helps encourage us to be present. And when our mind drifts off, we just notice and in a kind way begin again. So just a few more moments moving the head around, stretching through the neck, deep breath. And then whenever you're ready, gently bringing your head back to what feels like center. Pausing for a breath. And then we'll start to shift the rib cage from side to side. So if it helps you, you can even bring your hands to your waist or your side ribs and just kind of shifting from side to side. Almost like the head stays at center, it just kind of tilts along with the spine. And then bringing the spine to center. Now rock the rib cage forward and back. So the hips are coming along for the ride. Hands can be, again, at the waist, maybe hips or knees. And then come back to center. Maybe one of those felt really great for you and you want to revisit it for a while. Or if you want to do combining them, we'll start by shifting the ribs to the right. And as we inhale, circle the rib cage forward. So the whole spine arches forward. Start to circle it over to the left. Then exhale, circle it back behind you. Inhaling as you shift through the right, forward, over to the left, and starting to exhale as you circle back. So we'll continue this a few times. Moving with breath. Inhaling as you circle forward. Exhaling as you circle back. And if you haven't yet already, just start to kind of notice the attitude that you're bringing towards your practice. So sometimes we might kind of be carrying this attitude, for example, of tension or I can't think of a better word for it, so I'll just say tension. We don't even realize it, right? Playing with what it feels like to bring a caring and loving attitude, even if you're feeling something like tension or something that's not as pleasant. We are here after all because we care, right? So meeting your moment, your breath, sensations, the mind and the heart with this caring attitude. And when you're ready, if you want to shift the direction of the circle, go for it. If you do that, you're like, I kind of wanted to be on the other side a little longer, then go for it. And one of the things that helps bring this caring attitude into our practice is even the tone of our face. So even if it just feels like practice, and only if you want, see what it would be like to bring the hint of a smile. So just a little liftiness of the corner of the mouth. at the very least, kind of giving ourselves credit for showing up today, right? So another circle or two. And then we'll slowly make our way back to center. Even notice how it feels to become still again. Then we'll bring our arms to the ground beside us. Let's take the left arm up and overhead. Let the left shoulder soften. Lift through the heart as you breathe in. And exhale through the spine up and over. So the arms just along for the ride. And we'll take a couple breaths here. Maybe play with lifting through the sternum or rolling the top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Maybe another deep breath or two. And on your inhale, coming back through center, and exhale, lowering the arm to the ground. And we'll turn the other palm to the sky, breathing in, taking this arm up, soften the shoulders, lift through the heart, and on an exhale, arching up and over. So you might even back out of it sometimes to get a little more movement, a little more lift. Rolling the top ribs back, lifting through the front of the rib cage. Taking another breath. And we'll inhale, come back through center, and exhale, release this arm to the ground. On the following inhale, taking the left arm up and overhead, and draping this arm over the top of the head. So maybe your fingertips come to your opposite ear, and gently drawing your head in this direction. Soften the left shoulder, and the right arm, maybe it wiggles out a little further to the side, or even play with stretching it back a slight bit. Taking a deep breath or two here. And then without lifting the head, bring your left hand to the left side of the head so you can press your head back up to center. As we release the arms, sometimes it might feel nice just to turn the chin side to side for a moment. Turn an inhale, taking the right arm up and over, fingertips to opposite ear, shoulders soften as we gently draw the head in this direction. Maybe even play with the placement of the left arm and bringing attention to where you feel what could be the center of stretch here. Maybe even imagine feeling the breath. Add another breath. And then without lifting the head, bring the right hand to the right side. Press the head back up to center and release the arms. You might want to turn the chin side to side. I'm kind of craving a little circle in the shoulder to see what's here for you. And then we'll bring the left hand to the left knee, right hand to the ground behind us. You can even start with the left hand on the left knee and see how that feels. That sometimes gives us that chance to lift up a little bit more. Then if you're ready, and it doesn't have to be today, but if you are, moving your right hand back to the right knee. Lifting through the heart, we'll take a few deep breaths here. And as you inhale, feel the sides of the ribs expand. And as you exhale, a little rotation of the waist. Breath in, breath out. One more. So inhale, unraveling through center. It might feel nice to rock the spine forward as you inhale. Rock the spine back as you exhale. Coming through center. And we'll rotate to the left. So maybe you cross the right arm over, or you can just see how it feels to have the right hand to the right knee. giving us a little more room to lift up. Then if and when you're ready, taking the right hand back to the left knee. And noticing these subtle differences. Maybe noticing the sides of the ribs moving as you inhale and expanding. A rotation as we exhale. Chin might turn back. Let's take one more breath. And we'll unwind our way back to center. Inhale to rock the spine forward. And exhale to rock it back. Coming back to center. Go ahead and give the shoulders a roll. And just like before, bringing the arms to the ground beside us. Let's take the left arm up and over again. See how it feels. It might be same, it might be different. Just for a breath or two. And then we'll inhale ourselves upright. So to take this left arm out, bend the elbow so the back of the hand comes to the low back. Might even move to the opposite hip. Lift through the heart. And play with, maybe you stay, the shoulder stretch might be enough. Or the head can lean to the right. One thing here to notice is keeping the rib cage, the heart lifting. And as the head drops to the right, you might play with turning the chin slightly down or slightly up. See how that feels. Slow, deep breath or two. And we'll bring ourselves upright, unwind the arm. It might feel nice to reach it back to the sky for a moment. And then exhale back to the ground. The next inhale, the right arm reaches up and over. Rolling the right rib back. Let's take another breath. Inhale, upright again. So to reach out as we exhale, bend the elbow. The back of the hand comes to the low back. Heart lifts. This shoulder might feel a little looser, a little tighter than the other one. Maybe the same, we're just noticing. Might stay upright, or maybe we invite the head to lean to the left. Then playing with staying, or maybe moving the chin slightly down or slightly up. Just gentle movements of care and attention. Take another breath or two. We'll inhale, bringing the head upright as we unlace the arm, maybe reach the arm to the sky. Let's take both arms to the sky, and then we'll rotate with breath. On the exhale, turn to the right, cross the arms down. Inhale up to center. Exhale, turn to the left, cross the arms down. One more each side. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, up center. And we'll exhale. Let the arms float their way down. So we've had our legs crossed for quite a bit. So let's take our legs out. I have wiggled my way off my cushion. So it depends on how comfortable you feel holding yourself upright. So if it's a little more challenging to be upright here, you're going to stay up on your cushion. But if you want to come all the way to the ground, that's up to you. And we'll just move very gently, turning our rib cage to the left. And exhale, folding to the left. And as we fold, keeping the right sit bone anchored to the earth. Let's take an extra breath here. You might even reach out more with the right arm. Then we'll inhale back to center, start to turn the rib cage to the right. And exhale, fold to the right. And here we want to keep the left sit bone anchored to the earth. And maybe we lift out or reach out more with the left arm. Let's take another breath. Then we'll come up to center. So you might continue just like this, just turning and folding with the out breath and lifting with the in breath. If you want to incorporate a little more posture with it, we can take the arms out to a T. And as you exhale, for example, the right arm would reach to the left leg. We inhale up through center to a T and exhale to reverse. So however you want to do it, moving in rhythm with your own breathing. Maybe we check in, notice if the mind is wandering at all. It's okay, we just begin again. Maybe we check in with the tone of our face or kind of the attitude that we're bringing to the practice. How about 2 more each side? Take your time, there is no need to rush. We'll come up to center. And now let's bring the right hand to the right shin and turn the torso towards the left leg, taking the left arm up alongside the ears. So we've done a few side bends, we're just kind of bringing the legs into it. So you might stay pretty upright, or you might play with hinging over the leg. Sit bones anchor down. We'll inhale through center, left hand to left shin, ribs turn to the right. Right arm up and over. When you're ready on an out breath, maybe reach up or maybe reach up and over. Inhale through center. We'll just take it a few times, side to side. And remembering that the further we bend doesn't mean we're getting more out of it. Sometimes being upright is where we might benefit the most. So it's worth playing with, seeing how it feels for you today. Maybe you do a little bit of each. Deep breath. Or 1 more each side. And then we'll come up through center, bringing the hands to the ground in front of us. As usual, remember, we are already in the forward fold, so you might stay here. Or maybe you lift up a little bit as you inhale. You see where the fold takes you as you exhale. And every breath, even if it's just something you can feel, not necessarily see, just imagine length on the inhale and softening on the exhale. Today, I'm really involving my legs and my feet, pressing out through the heels, drawing the toes back. For some days, it's nice to keep them a little more passive. See what feels like a benefit for you this morning. And we'll take 2 more breaths together. In and out. Breath in and breath out. Sit ourselves upright if we're not already, catching a hold of the back of the knees to draw the feet together. So if when you do this, your knees are popping up real high, totally fine. You just sit up on something a little bit higher. Lifting through the heart. We'll take a little lean to one side. Maybe the head drops in the side. Inhale to center, a little lean to the other side. Back to center, breath in. And maybe you stay, this might feel more than enough stretch, or maybe you take a little forward fold as you exhale. You're gonna give your feet a little love, a little gliding thumbs of the arches of the feet. Balls of the feet, the balls of the toes. Even circling the fingertips of the tops of the feet. Thanks, feet. Right. And as we sit ourselves upright, we'll bring our knees together. If you're on something now would be the time to come off of it. Hands to the ground behind us, and start to rock the knees from side to side. And just for a moment, kind of play with what it feels like to have the feet closer together. Notice that might change sensations in the outer legs, hips, or even the back. And then what it feels like to have the feet a little wider or as wide as the edges of your mat. Not the side edges of your mat, but the front edges of your mat. Just a few more rocks. And then bringing the knees back to center. We'll slowly make our way onto our backs. I'm going to roll onto my back, but if you want to come to your side to lie down, that's totally fine. Whatever gets you there safely and comfortably. Wow, let's stretch out on the ground. So extend the legs out. Flex the ankles, press through the heels, reach through the arms, inhale. And then let all that go on the exhale. Now just the right side, reach through the right heel and the right arm. You might want to point the toes, that's okay. Take a breath in, the right side extending. And exhale, let all that go. Then the left side, reaching through the foot and the arm. Maybe the toes spread out, breath in. Let that go. Now stay with me. We're going to reach through opposite sides. So the left foot and the right arm. Take a breath in. Let it go. And now the right foot and the left arm. And now all directions again, reaching through the feet, reaching through the arms. Take a big breath in. And let it go. Bring the knees into the chest. Take your time, maybe 1 foot at a time. Catch a hold of the knees. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. And lower the feet to the ground with the knees bent. And here, rocking the knees from side to side. Let's start with the feet together. Arms can be wherever it's helpful. I'm bringing mine up to a T. Just seeing what you notice here. I notice that to keep my feet and knees together, I really have to use my abdomen to help bring the knees through center. But maybe that's same or different for you. Just kind of observe however it is. And then see how it feels to take the feet hips width apart or even wider. I'm taking mine as wide as the edges of the mat. One thing I notice is a little more stretch through the front of the hips. Getting to know these subtleties of movement and how that might feel different in different parts of your body. And then maybe somewhere in the middle, not together, but not as wide as the mat. Bring the feet, see how that is. First thing I notice is a little more stretch at the back of the hips. See what's here. Remember, there isn't a right or wrong way to be. We're just becoming curious about movement and sensation. Another breath or two. And then we'll bring the knees to center and go ahead and bring the knees in for another hug again. Then you might stay here just holding onto the knees or the shins, or as you exhale, lift the shoulders and head up, curl in tightly, soften the shoulders, take a deep breath. And then slowly lower the shoulders and the head. Another rock of the knees from side to side. So we'll come back to center with the knees and lower the feet to the ground. And extending your left leg long on your mat. And then tucking your right toes behind your left knee. So you create this little hook. So you're holding on. Very gently have your right knee fall open to the side. If it feels like too much, you can tuck your fist or even like a little pillow or blanket under your right hip. So when your knee opens up, it doesn't open up too far in the hip rather. I feel like the color of my pants are just blending in. So hopefully you can see what's going on. All right, so your right knee is open to the side. Just take a breath here. And bring your knee through center and push into your right toes to rock you over to the left. So your right hip rolls up. Let's take a breath here. Toes are still hooked behind the left knee as you come back through center and the right knee falls open. So now we're just going to rock back and forth. And we're kind of pushing off the balls of our toes to rock us over. And then we're just letting gravity help rock us back. Please support the back of your right hip if it needs it. Just a few times. I would suggest exhaling into the twist and inhaling as you open out of it. So this can be as slow as you want it to go or as energetic as you want it to go. I don't know if energetic's the right word, but faster than slow. The slow is still energy, right? It's a different kind of it. Try not to overthink it. Just move in a way that feels like fits you. If you are wiggling off the bottom of your mat, I'm right there with you. So another rock or two. And then we'll come back to center. Bring the right knee in for a little hug. Maybe you stay, or maybe you lift the head and head up, nose to knee, head and shoulders up. Relax into the right hip, take a breath. And lower the head, extend the leg out, stretch again through both arms, both legs. Then we'll bend the left knee. Tucking the left toes behind the right knee. Arms in a way that feels supportive for you. And we'll first start by letting the left knee and hip open up. So here you might want to tuck your left fist or a little blanket, or pillow, or whatever you have handy behind your left hip. Just take a moment, especially in the inner hip, just relaxing, softening if you can. Then we'll bring the knee up through center. Press into the balls of the left toes, so rock the left hip up over. Taking our twist to the right. And just take a breath here to start. And then rock through center. Toes stay hooked. Let the left hip open up, maybe with support. And then exhale back into the twist. I like to start a little bit slower. Just kind of making sure how the joints and everything are feeling. And then if and only if you feel upward, you increase the pace a little bit. Few more breaths. Maybe two more, depending on your pace. No need to count. And then we'll rock back to center. Hug the left knee in. Soften through the hip. Staying or exhaling, bringing the nose towards the knee. Taking a breath here. Gently lowering the head and bringing the right knee in to meet the left. Little hug, little rock of the hips from side to side. Now we'll lower the left foot to the ground. Knee can stay bent for now. and interlacing hands behind the right thigh. If that's a bit of a reach for you, just use whatever you have handy, a towel, a blanket, some kind of belt of sorts, just to give you a little length. So you can wrap behind the right thigh. We'll inhale, slowly extend the right leg. And exhale, slowly bend. So now you can choose keeping the left knee bent or extend your leg long on your mat. Then we'll continue. Inhale to extend through the right leg. Exhale to bend. And when you extend, keep going. You can either point the toes or flex at the ankle. And exhale bend. Maybe a little bit of each. Just a few more with breath. Let's do one more moving. Then we'll extend through the right leg. And here the toes can point or ankle flex. See what feels better. For a lot of people, this is more than enough stretch for the hamstring and low back. So you might stay here. But if you're feeling a little more flexy today and you want to, let the hands slide a little further up the leg. And as you exhale, you stay or lift the shoulders and head off the ground. The shoulders are soft here. The abdomen is doing most of the work. Let's take another breath. And slowly lower the shoulders and head to the ground. Now, just for fun and as a bit of a hip stretch, we're going to bend the right knee. Bring the knee out past your right armpit. And then you can catch a hold of your shin with your right hand. Maybe your hand can climb up and catch a hold of your foot. Some people refer to this as like a half happy baby. Just take another breath here. And then gently crossing your right foot over towards your left side. And catch a hold of it with your left hand. So your left hand has your foot now, and your right hand has your knee. And just rocking, some people call this cradling, right? Just kind of cradling the leg from side to side. Just doing that a few more times. And then coming on back to center. Go ahead and let go of the foot. Slowly extend your right leg long. Let's reach out through both arms, both legs again. Inhaling. And then letting that go. Exhaling. Bringing the left knee in now. Interlacing hands behind the left thigh. Softening into the hip. Remember, you can always get a little prop, a strap, a towel, whatever you have handy. And then inhale, extending through the left leg. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. Exhale, bending. Inhaling. Exhaling. A few more. You might be at a different pace than me, and that's okay. Maybe the mind is drifting off. That's also okay. Just notice and begin again. So the next time we extend the leg, let's pause, breathing, and playing with pointing or flexing the ankle, maybe a little circle. Remembering that this is more than enough stretch for most people, so you can stay. Some of us might want to slide our hands a little more up our leg, and as you exhale, lifting the shoulders and the head, soften the shoulders, abdomen is helping us lift here. Let's take another breath. Slowly lowering the shoulders and the head. Now as we bend the left knee, bend it out to the side, pin it past your armpit. And your left hand might catch a hold of your shin or maybe your foot for this half happy baby pose. Take a breath or two. very gently, we'll start to guide our left foot over towards our right side. Right hand now catching a hold of our foot. And then our left hand moves to the left knee. You might stay here or maybe cradle or rock, leg from side to side. Nice deep breath. About another breath or two. We'll come back to center very gently, releasing the left foot and leg, extending again through the leg, through the arms, reaching both directions. And then exhale to soften. All right, let's bend the knees. One way to come up is to roll onto your side and press yourself up. Or if you want to join me, we'll lift the feet, catch a hold of the back of the thighs, and rock up and down. I'm going to rock up and down a few times. It's totally optional. Just happens to be one of my goals in life to be able to do this for as long as I can. Aim high, right? Just another rock or two. And then we'll rock our way all the way up onto all fours. Okay, so take your time, please. Feet and, well, those are knees. Knees and hands, hips width apart. I suppose the feet are too. And start to just let your spine sway towards the ground like a hammock. Your neck might be neutral. Or maybe gently lifting the head, rolling the shoulders back, keeping the neck extended long. Let's just take an extra breath here. Maybe a little sway of the hips to side to loosen the low back. And then coming back to center, let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, rounding your spine towards the sky, pausing here, keep breathing. A little extra pressure into the pointer finger and thumb knuckles. Chin the chest. One more breath out. And inhale, start to sway the spine again. Maybe the head lifts. And keep going, moving in rhythm with your breath. One interesting practice here is just to concentrate on the sensation of the spine. Just experiencing the sensations of the spine as it changes shape from moment to moment. As it runs all the way from the tailbone to the base of the skull. Maybe you'd rather just be with the breath. That's okay. Just another rock or two. And we'll come back to center. Let's tuck our toes under. And when you're ready, lifting up into our downward facing dog. This can be done with bent knees. And then if you want to straighten through one leg as the other hip dips and switch it to the other side. Just another time or two. We'll sway through the hips. Then we'll rock ourselves forward into a high plank. We're going to hold here for 2 breaths. If you want to lower your knees, please do. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. And as you start to exhale, lower the knees and starting with the hips, lowering to the ground. We're starting with the hips so that we can let our back stretch today. Our arms are still working. Coming back to center, inhale, just lift the head and the heart about 6 to 8 inches. Then you might stay, or maybe you want to press into the hands and lift a little bit more. And exhale to lower. Roll the shoulders back. This time we'll inhale, press into the hands to lift up. Start to press into the knees. Exhale, draw the belly in and move the hips all the way back to the heels. Take a deep breath in here and a deep breath out. We'll come up through all fours and stepping our right foot forward. So for today, I'm going to place my hands on the inside of my foot, just to get a bit of a different stretch in my right hip. But if you prefer to have your hands on both sides of your foot, I know when I do that, I feel a different stretch in my left hip. See what's going to be a fit for you. Maybe even play with each just to observe the difference. And 3 times we'll inhale, rock the hips back. The toes can point or flex. See what you want to play with. Exhale to rock forward. Inhale to rock back. Exhale to rock forward. Let's do one more. Breath in. Breath out. And pausing here. Lift through the heart. Place the right hand on the right thigh. Breath in. A little twist to the right as we breathe out. Pausing here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And gently bring the left hand back to the ground. Start to rock the hips back so you can step your right leg back. And go ahead and circle the hips in one direction. Just about 3 times. And then reverse the circle. And back to center. Tucking the toes, we'll start with our downward facing dog. Take your time to come into your down dog. This time, if you want to repeat the kind of dip in the hips, go for it. But if you want to play with something a little different, we'll just come up onto our tippy toes, lift through the front of the hips, and exhale, lower. 2 more. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And breath out. Take your time rocking forward to a high plank. Pausing here. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And as you exhale, start to lower your knees. Start to lower the hips. And slowly making our way to the earth. Rolling the shoulders back. As we inhale, starting with a little lift in the head and the heart. And you might decide you want to come about halfway up, just a little stretch in the back. And exhale to lower. We'll keep moving. Inhale, press into the hands, lift the head and the heart. Start to lift through the belly to draw the hips back to the heels. This time in our child's pose, we're going to walk our hands off the left side of the mat. Reach out with the right arm. Take a deep breath. And then walk the spine and the arms off the other side. Take a deep breath. Coming back to center. Inhale up through all fours, and we'll step our left foot forward. So just like before, I'm placing my hands inside my front foot. So it's a little bit of a wider lunge. And maybe you just experiment, see how it feels, what the difference might be for you. And then decide which one you want to work with. And we'll rock back as we breathe in. Toes might point or ankle flex. And exhale to rock forward. Breath in to rock back. Breath out to rock. One more with breath. Pause in here, lift through the heart, placing the left hand on the left thigh. One more inhale to lift through the heart. Exhale to twist. Breath in and the breath out. Back to center, hands to the earth, stepping the front foot back. Last time we circled the hips a few times each direction, so if that's one option, please go for it if that's what you want. Or a little bit of a final movement. We'll bring our hands to the ground in front of our shoulders, arms stay straight and strong. Rocking forward into an upward facing shape as we inhale. And rocking our hips towards our heels as we exhale. Two more. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Pause and let's come together in child's pose. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. So now we'll come up through all fours and have a seat. So again, if you're a little less flexible in the hamstrings or the low back, sit on something. So I'm going to sit on one folded blanket this morning, and I'll turn to you just for the sake of being able to see what's going on. Let's take our legs out in front of us, and then bend the left knee, and have the left knee fall open to the side. Just like when we were on our backs, if this is a lot for your hip, you can take something and tuck it under the leg to give you a little support. Lifting up through the heart, turn the rib cage and shoulders so they're squared off with the left leg. We'll lift through the heart, inhale. And extending out over this leg as we exhale. So catch a hold over wherever your hands reach comfortably, and then 3 times. We'll lift and lengthen as we breathe in. Holding as we breathe out. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. One more breath in. Coming into the fold, and then we'll pause in the fold. Stay with the breath. Soften the shoulders. Soften the jaw. Maybe soften the muscles of the back of the neck. Let's take one more breath. And then we'll slowly walk our hands in so we can easily bring our spine upright. I'm turning just a little bit so you can see. And just like when our legs were wide earlier, we're going to bring our left hand to our left shin. Turn our rib cage towards our right thigh now. Reach the right arm out like a wing. Turn the right palm to the sky and lift the arm up alongside the ear. So if we're really, if the shoulders are in line with the left leg here, we're sitting up, a lot of us will feel a stretch here alongside the hip or under the shoulder. So staying upright might be really helpful. But if you're feeling that urge for a side bend over the left leg, then go for it. The key here is to practice moving the bottom ribs forward and the top ribs backwards. Let's take 2 more breaths in and out. Breath in and out. Inhale, come upright again, and exhale to release. Bringing the right knee up and extending the right leg forward. I'm just going to swing my legs for the sake of visual. Bring the left knee in now and have the knee fall open to the side. Squaring the ribs and the shoulder to the left leg, lifting on the inhale and folding on the exhale. Hands catch wherever is comfortable. 3 times. We'll lift and lengthen, even if it's a subtle bit. Inhale. Exhale, see where you fold. Inhale, a little lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. One more, breath in. Breath out. We'll pause here. Stay with the breath. Soften the shoulders. Soften the neck, the jaw. One more breath. Gently bring ourselves upright. Right hand stays to the right shin. The left arm opens like a wing to help turn the rib cage and shoulders to square off with the left thigh now. Left palm flips to the sky. Try to keep the shoulders soft as you bring your arm up alongside the ear. Sit tall. Maybe notice sensations here. So maybe you stay, or maybe a little side bend. And the right ribs, the lower ribs roll forward as the left ribs roll back. 2 more breaths in and out. Breath in and out. Inhaling upright again. And exhale to release. Bring the left knee up, extend the leg forward. Just like the beginning, we'll bend the knees, hands to the ground behind us, a little rock of the knees side to side. If you're not facing the front of your mat, you want to wiggle your way to it, go for it. Little rock of the knees, back to center. If you want to roll to your side to lie yourself down, go for it. If you want to roll your spine down, that's another option. Bring the knees in, give yourself a little squeeze. Letting the arms fall open to the sides. If you prefer to lower your feet to come into your twist, go for it. Otherwise, both knees fall to the right. Take your time. Let the neck soften, maybe the head naturally drops to one side. Let's take a breath. Linger if you'd like. Otherwise, moving with me, taking the twists to the other side. Softening where you can. And coming back through center. Catching a hold of the knees and exhaling, bringing the knees into the chest. Into a resting shape. So maybe you join me in Shavasana with the legs extended, or perhaps you prefer to maybe have one or both knees bent, or even roll to your side or your belly. See what's going to be helpful for a few moments of rest. Once you do arrive in your resting shape, perhaps taking a few long exhales. Eventually letting go of any effort of the breath, even just watching the breath fall into its own natural rhythm. Maybe scanning a bit from head to toes, see if there's anywhere you could soften for, just for a moment. Observing how it feels to be resting. Noticing how it is now. You will benefit by staying lying down and resting on your own for a while. Go for it. You're ready to move a bit, just gently moving, maybe starting with the feet and the hands, and eventually making these movements a little bigger, maybe into a stretch. And in the knees as you're ready. Rolling off onto one side. Give yourself at least a breath on your side. Maybe even more. Making your way up to a seated position or whatever is comfortable for you. As we come to sit, perhaps we rest the hands on the legs. Maybe they'd like to land in the palm of each other, or maybe bringing hands to underneath your heart center. You can pause to observe how it is in this moment. Remembering there isn't a right or a wrong way to be, but meeting however it is, however the experience, with kind and loving attention. And in respectful greetings towards each other. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking the time to take good care of you today. I'm going to pause or stop the recording.